I'm going to pick lima beans in my big old messy garden that the weeds have taken over, that I just look at and I cringe because I haven't had time to take care of this big garden this year. But I don't care. I'm going to pick lima beans. There's been pluses and minuses with this jungle that I've created here this year. Pluses and minuses. I had really good cucumbers growing on that trellis there, and they've kind of done their thing, so I pulled them out and I put in some more lima beans because the lima beans love what's going on here in Louisiana right now. They love the humidity, the heat, the rain, the steam. They love it all. And these here have just started producing to where I can pick them. These are the hoppy yellow lima beans. They're a pole lima. I believe I got the seeds from Southern Exposure Seed Exchange. Now, when the seeds are dried and mature, they're a beautiful golden brown, like a yellowish brown. But what I'm picking today is just a green seed. It's called picking them green. They don't really get the color that's true to them until they dry up. When you pick them early, a lot of times they're either kind of whitish or they're this lime green. Doesn't really matter. I just want them for the taste of the butter beans, and then I'll let some of them dry so that I can save seeds for later. I brought a bowl to put them all in, and I'm hoping I'm going to fill it up today because what I'm looking at here is fantastic. These limas are full of pods, and they go that way all the way down my plant. Look at this big set right there. Look at that. Look at those. It's like that all the way down the row and even up. There's lots of pods high up. I'm out here today really just to relax. Today is June 21st and it's Father's Day. And that's a nice day. But in our family, we try to enjoy Father's Day, let Richard enjoy it. But this whole week for our family is hard. You'll hear me throwing them in the bucket when I get them. I can pretty much put everyone in the bucket because they're all pretty full down here. I didn't pick the last couple of days, and they've gotten really filled out. On June 18th, 2008, we lost our 21-year-old son to suicide. It was a day that split my life in half. I no longer look at things as this year or that year. I look at things as this was before he died or this was after he died. Before or after. That's the only way I can associate things anymore with their true timeline. It was either before he died or after he died. It was a horrible experience, as you might have guessed, if you've ever known anyone that's done that or been around their family or just experienced it or had those thoughts yourself. You know that the whole situation of that is not wonderful. And I don't even know if you're free to mention it on a video like this. I really don't know. Okay. Our youngest son was off today, and he called and said, "Do you want me to come mow your yard for you today?" I said, "Yeah, that'd be great. I really could use this help right now. I really could use it." This is a long week for more than just my son's death date, or rather, should I say, his death date makes this week just hard because actually I have a birthday during this time, and then Father's Day always falls right during this time. The week that it happened, I had my birthday, the next day was Father's Day, and 3 days later, he passed away. this year, his death date fell in between the two. So it's just a hard time to try to really let yourself enjoy a birthday or let yourself really and truly enjoy a Father's Day. It's just always been hard because that cloud is always over your head, remembering what could have been had that child still been here. It's hard for me to want to go out and have a daiquiri and be with friends and celebrate these milestones of birthdays when I can't help but associate it anymore with the time of year we lost him. And so I don't mean to, but every year, because the weather's the same, this timeline is the same with Father's Day and our birthday and his death date. Every year I can't help it, but it brings me down. My son and I were talking when he first got here about the dog that we have, and there's been a little issue with a sore on his arm on the dog, and I've been treating it with some medicine that the co-op told me to use and stuff. So I was telling him all about it. And then I just said, "Oh, I'm doing the best I can to take care of everything." And he said, I was surprised that he said, "It's all right." He said, "You're doing fine." He said, "Don't stress about things, Mom." He said, "You got it. You're doing fine. Don't stress about things." And this is my son who really doesn't get too emotional. He's not a touchy-feely type kid. He's very strong, very tough. Just he's making it great in this world because he's just got a tough exterior, a good attitude, and he's a hard worker. And for him to kind of encourage me like that, just spur the moment, meant a lot to me because I know he really wasn't talking about the dog's issue. I think he just was talking about how he knows right now what all we go through this week. We didn't say that to each other, but it's there. It's always there. And he knows what I have to do for his dad all the time. And I think he just wanted to give me a little encouragement in the way that he does. Like I said, he's not touchy-feely. He didn't want a big hug to hug it all out or anything. But it meant a lot to me coming from him. And it really, really made my day. And as I was picking all of these lima beans today, I also wanted to just envelop myself in doing this because this garden has really been something that has helped me heal. I got into just thinking about gardening in about 2018. I didn't do anything about it until 2020, but between 2018 and 2020, I did a lot of studying and just planning to have gardens and planning of what I would plant. And I studied a lot of catalogs. And I just realized that it became kind of a therapy for me. And I do appreciate God sending that my way. And I do feel like Richard even said, my husband said to me one time, "You've kind of found your calling." Now, I'm not a great gardener. I'm really not. I don't put out tons of videos telling anybody how to do anything. I just try things and see if they work for me, and I share things with y'all about my gardens, but I don't claim to be a great gardener. But that's not why I'm in it anyway. I really just have to take the moments that I can get to relax, to lose myself in picking something or harvesting something or planting something, or even perusing a catalog to think about harvesting or planting this particular item in the catalog, because it helps kind of alleviate stress on me. It helps alleviate the loneliness I feel sometimes missing that child. It helps to bring me out of that servant mode I'm kind of always in as being a caregiver. And it just really helps kind of transport me for a while. And I think anybody that gardens understands what I'm saying. Any of y'all that garden understand that. And it's kind of a healing mechanism. I can't help when I'm out there but hear birds, hear noises. There used to be a horse in the pasture right next to me. It's gone now, but I used to could just sit out there and look at beautiful things all the time. I still can, but the horse isn't there, but I still can. And it's just been a healing thing for me. And I don't think I will be able to ever just say I'm done gardening, because I don't think life ever quits throwing things at you. uh, we've had a lot. There are people worse off than us, so I don't ever want to act like I'm complaining or anything like that. But in this life, we've had some things. We had our son pass away, and I lost my dad. And just after that, my best friend since high school, started having some issues. And it was a 2-year journey of taking her to doctors to get it all figured out that she had frontal temporal dementia. It was not a great situation. She endured that for a total of 10 years, 8 years from her diagnosis. And I walked that journey with her. And it was terrible. It was just terrible what all you go through with that. She spent the last 3 years of her life in a nursing home, which is why I can say that I don't want to see our mom have to go in a nursing home, which is why we're working so hard to get this situation of her cottage built up here so that it's an option for her to stay in place as long as possible. And a lot of people commented on my video and said, y'all are so nice and strong. And, but a lot of things in your life come from your experiences. And I had that experience of having to watch my best friend lay in a nursing home and deteriorate and then pass away. She died the week I was moving into this property in 2022, at the end of 2022. So then, while she was in that nursing home is when my own husband went down with a stroke. We went a year without being able to see her at the nursing home because of all the COVID restrictions. And the week that I was going to be able to go back and visit with her, me and her daughter were going to go, my husband went down with a stroke. So then I didn't get to see her a whole lot at all that next year of 2021. I was finally able to go see her again some of 2022, but she went down and then passed away. And so that leaves a big mark on your soul to lose somebody like that. In the meantime, dealing with becoming a full-time caregiver and learning how to live our life in this new way. We're so blessed, and we do have everything we need. We have everything we need plus some. And so we're okay and all, but there's a lot. And then you do really good. You do good. Most of the year, I'm fine. Just this kind of time of the year, this week or so, with the birthday, the Father's Day, and the anniversary of his death, always brings me down a little bit. There's a beautiful story surrounding the events around my son's death. It's a God story, to be honest with you. I've only really discussed it publicly once, and it was on a podcast called Catholic for Rednecks. It's with the number 4, Catholic for Rednecks. And I will try to link that at the bottom if I can. It was, I believe, around February of 2023, I think is when I spoke to him. Maybe it was February of 2024. I can't really remember. But I will try to link it at the bottom if you want to listen to it. God was good to us during all that. He just showered us with so many graces, and I talked a little bit about it in that podcast, as much as I could say. I finally sat down just last year, after 17 years since he's been gone, and wrote the whole thing down on paper. And that was very freeing to me because there were so many God things about it. And there is a whole story of how those God things tie together that I really have never discussed at length, but I'm going to let God let me know when he's ready for me to talk about things like that and tell the whole story. And anyway, but if you do want to just kind of know a little bit about those God things that surrounded the time of his death, I would encourage you maybe to go listen to that. I'll try to link it. I'm not sure how YouTube is about me putting links in the descriptions or anything, but I will try to see if it'll work and let me do that. This is Lainey at Hilltop Home Place. I thank y'all for joining me, for jumping onto my channel and becoming a subscriber. I appreciate that to everybody that's done it. It means a lot to me. We'll have a lot more content coming out, but this was just kind of a personal little video here because this has been just kind of a quiet, reflective week for me. And I really didn't feel like putting out any other content right now, but I do have some things coming up. I appreciate y'all. I thank you for joining me. Y'all have a great and wonderful week. Thank you so much. Bye bye.